When it comes to high-end home audio, JBL has always been a brand that balances performance with design. The BAR 1300X takes this philosophy to an entirely new level. At its core, this is an 11.1.4 channel system that combines a soundbar, a wireless subwoofer, and wireless surround speakers into a unified experience designed for serious movie watchers, gamers, and music lovers alike. The first thing you notice about it is the sheer presence. It's sleek, minimal, and looks like it belongs in a modern living room without overpowering the rest of your setup. But the design is just the beginning. The real story here is in what happens when you press play. The soundbar itself is massive, not just in size but in capability. It delivers Dolby Atmos and DTS audio out of the box, which translates to immersive 3D sound that really feels like it's moving around the room. The 11.1.4 channel configuration might sound like overkill, but it's exactly what gives it that enveloping experience. The main bar houses multiple upward-firing speakers, mid-range drivers, and tweeters. These combine to produce precise audio imaging, ensuring that dialogue remains crystal clear even in the most explosive action sequences, while still delivering depth and width to the overall soundstage. Pairing this with the wireless subwoofer takes the low end to a level that most all-in-one home theater setups can only dream of. The subwoofer is not just about volume, it's about control. Whether it's the rumble of a spaceship in a blockbuster sci-fi or the subtle bassline of a minimalist electronic track, the BAR 1300X reproduces it faithfully without ever feeling boomy or overpowering. Because it's wireless, placement is flexible, which means you can find the sweet spot in your room for optimal bass response. Then there are the wireless surround speakers, which round out the 11.1.4 configuration. In practice, this means sound is not just coming from in front of you, it's all around you. Explosions move fluidly from front to back, footsteps pan realistically across the room, and subtle ambient effects become noticeable in ways that smaller setups simply can't replicate. The BAR 1300X doesn't just play sound, it places you inside the content. Setup is straightforward thanks to JBL's wireless connectivity. Once you connect the subwoofer and surround speakers to the main bar, everything syncs almost automatically. There's minimal lag, and the calibration system makes adjustments to ensure the sound remains balanced regardless of your room layout. Whether your living room is small and cozy or large and open, the BAR 1300X adapts. Of course, the BAR also supports eARC, which means you can pass high bitrate audio from your TV to the soundbar without losing quality. To make the most of this, using a high-quality HDMI cable is crucial, which is where the WireLogic Ruby HDMI cable comes in. At 8 feet, this ultra-high-speed cable supports 4K, 8K, and even 10K resolutions. It handles HDR, VRR, and eARC effortlessly, ensuring that all the data your devices are sending gets through without compression or lag. It's a small piece of hardware, but in high-end setups like this, it's the difference between average and exceptional performance. Streaming and connectivity are well handled too. The BAR 1300X includes support for Apple AirPlay, Chromecast, and Bluetooth 5.0. This means you can send music directly from your phone, tablet, or laptop with minimal hassle. For those who prefer physical connections, there's HDMI, optical, and even a USB port for audio playback. So whether you're gaming on a console, watching a movie on a streaming device, or listening to high-resolution audio, the system has you covered. One of the most impressive aspects of this system is how well it balances power with subtlety. In demo mode, you can crank up the volume, and the room fills effortlessly with immersive sound, but when listening at lower levels, the system doesn't lose its clarity. Vocals remain intelligible, instruments remain distinct, and the soundstage remains expansive. This is a level of engineering that shows attention to detail and an understanding of how people actually consume content at home. The BAR 1300X is also built to last. The materials feel premium, the finish is resistant to fingerprints, and the construction is solid without being overly heavy. It's a system that looks as good as it sounds, and in a world where most electronics are disposable, that's worth noting. The wireless subwoofer and surrounds are compact enough to blend into your space, yet powerful enough to deliver full-range audio that keeps up with the main bar. Gaming performance is another area where the BAR 1300X shines. With support for VRR, variable refresh rate, through the WireLogic Ruby HDMI cable, latency is minimal, and sound effects align perfectly with the action on screen. Explosions, engine roars, and directional cues are all rendered accurately, giving you a competitive advantage in games where spatial awareness matters. Coupled with Dolby Atmos, it feels almost like the sound is coming from within the game itself. Movies are a different story, and arguably the most rewarding use case for this system. Watching a high-budget action movie with this setup is transformative. The dialogue sits front and center, music swells fill the room, and every environmental effect, from rain to distant gunfire, is rendered in a way that makes you feel present in the scene. The system scales beautifully too. Subtle indie films and orchestral pieces are just as nuanced as blockbuster explosions. Music playback is equally impressive. Whether you're into pop, classical, jazz, or electronic, the BAR 1300X delivers a detailed soundstage with accurate highs, rich mids, and punchy lows. It doesn't artificially inflate the bass, and the spatial separation between instruments and vocals is excellent. Paired with a high-quality source, the difference between a casual listening session and a near-studio experience is noticeable. From a convenience perspective, the JBL